What up, you guys? Welcome back. It's been a minute. How are you guys holding up? This whole quarantine thing has been quite a trip. Don't make it like a light switch statement. I think I might like it. Is it straight? Can you guys tell I'm delirious? This is my bedroom transformation. I feel like it's a very good before and after. It is sponsored by Sherwin-Williams. In beginning any decorating challenge, I like to look at the pros and the cons of the space. In this situation, the pro is that it's pretty big. I mean, for a small little house, it's a decent sized room. The next pro would be the French doors. It's awesome that I have French doors that have windows and they open up and go to the outside. The cons. First, I would say is this lovely air conditioning unit. I mean, it is quite nice when it's hot as heck in the summertime, but first thing you see when you walk in is like this air conditioning unit. It's a lot. And when I first moved in, the person had a shelf over it. So then they just stacked stuff on top of that. So that was like a lot. It felt very like oppressive. The next thing that feels a little bit oppressive is the fan. So I am not the #1 fan of this fan. I just don't think it matches my aesthetic, doesn't go with anything I have. Some people are a little bit scared to change out light fixtures. I think it's a huge thing to do to make a difference in your space. The same with painting. So if it takes me an afternoon to paint and I enjoy it for 1 year to 2 years and then I paint it back when I leave, or I enjoy my light fixture and I have somebody help me do it that takes about a half an hour to do, and then I change it back in 1 year, 2, 3 years, for me that's 100% worth it to enjoy the space the entire time. So it's a personal call, but for me, it's always a yes. All of the windows. The air conditioning unit is in a window and it makes a small little window half the size. None of the windows are the same height, nor are they the same size. So there's kind of an issue there with like making something cohesive and feel like that it works for everything. And hides this little baby. Paint is the fastest way to change anything. If you change your paint, change your light fixture, change the curtains and stuff, like you can create a whole new world. And I'm excited, my little neglected bedroom is finally going to get the love and care she deserves. And I'm breaking all my feng shui rules, but my #1 rule is don't be afraid to break the rules. And do what works for you and your space. So that is what I'm doing. I'm a big fan of using a nicer paint quality to do less work. I wound up using the color Romance in a matte finish in their emerald line in this bedroom. Pink can be really, really tricky. I think it's definitely one to always get a sample of and test in the space and then see it in different lights. It looks completely different in the evening than when the sun is shining in on it. So you really get a lot of variety. This reads as a pink, but it's not really a true pink, especially when you look at it next to a true pink. It's a little bit more sophisticated. At first I was like, oh, it's kind of dark, but okay. But really it's not. Like during the day and even at night, it's beautiful. Like I can't say enough about it. I love this color. It was like exactly the perfect right choice. And I was actually originally going to do kind of a blue silver. That was kind of my whole plan for it. But then I was like, I have this other color called Romance. Like, doesn't it feel like romance should be in the bedroom? I mean, especially if you could get closer than 6 feet to anybody, but that's fine. That's a whole nother topic. Also, there were some imperfections, obviously in the ceiling, on the wall. I just paint over it. I feel like the whole thing in design is tricking your eye and changing where the focus is and what you want to look at. And that's true if you have a lot of money or you don't. If you can't change it, decorate it. Okay, I painted the bulk of the room yesterday. Well, all of it, but I just need to do touch up. I don't know if you guys can really see this, but it's just kind of a pink, but it's not really pink. And it looks super peach in the camera. And then if you look, it's like really bright here and it changes. They change so much depending on the light. So yeah, it really gets like a whole new look from day to night, but I can really see where it needs to be touched up. I'm just dying for it to be done and dried so I can like decorate. Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? All right, let's do it.
I'll take you by surprise like a stranger in the night. Ready or not?
Rags, highly recommend rags. Oh, and that tool I got, that paint edger, I got it for this because I was nervous about the carpet. It was so easy. It worked freaking perfectly. I barely used tape in here and I'm now obsessed. I don't know how I went through life painting without that. So I highly recommend it. Multi-purpose painter's trim guard. She works like a charm, and if you have carpet, you can just go hide the carpet, push it down. I mean, this was like surprisingly like so much easier than I thought it was gonna be. For this reason. And because the paint's really good. Like honestly, this is again like the, what do you say? Pound wise, penny foolish. It pays to get nicer paint and have to do less. So yes, I have to do a little like second coat on some parts because it got late and I couldn't see right, and just sometimes you need a second coat, especially going over white. But I only use like half a can of paint. I think that's pretty phenomenal. Granted, I started on white, which is also a note to like use primer because otherwise you're using a lot more paint. Can you guys tell I'm delirious? I'm excited. I get excited once I see a little progress. So what didn't change and what was working in the beginning was I had the same bed. It is basically the same layout. I have my dresser opposite it. That just kind of fits everything the best and works the best in the space, so that stayed the same. That desk that actually was in the kitchen, I don't know if you guys remember that, but I wound up changing and moving things all around. So the mirror wound up going next to the bed. I think I might like it. It's low, but I kind of like that and wanted it to be. And that little side table I actually was going to sell, and I'm so glad it didn't sell. Honestly, as soon as I did the paint, I was like, oh, even the AC unit's looking better over there. This is what happens when you tape it up and you're super frustrated because it keeps falling down and you're like, you will not fall down. This is inside my mind when I have a temper tantrum. I got this idea to hang one rod all the way across and have that wall just be like a wall of like drapes and windows, especially because the windows are different sizes and it's just kind of awkward to just give it like a uniform look and kind of add some softness to the space. These drapes are life-giving, right? Like compared to seeing the air conditioning unit and I can just like, oh, need some AC? I am so happy. So I have to lean this mirror if I want it there, and I like it there best of all. I like that it reflects outside, and it's really the only area that I can put it, that I can stand back and get like full outfit vibes. Yeah, so it has to lean because there's light switch behind it. That way I can just use it right behind there. I mean, ideally it would be so nice to hang it, but that's just not what's happening. This blue picture that I just stuck on the dresser above it, or maybe like a little hat moment. So, just gonna give it a try, see what happens. Okay, I haven't even put the hat over there, and I'm definitely gonna do the blue picture. I think the blue's just really pretty. It's kind of directly opposite the lamp, and you know, blue, vintage, chinoiserie vibes, not mad. The only new things I bought for this room were the curtain rod, the drapes, the chandelier. Yep, everything else I already had and repurposed and made it work in here, and I feel like it really does. And I like things that feel like collected over time. So I might end up switching out like one of the lamps for something a little bit more modern when that time comes, but for right now, like I'm super happy with it. I feel like it's super cozy, and I think it's a really good transformation and kind of proof what a little ingenuity and tricking the eye can really do. I think everything about the space came together in a really easy way that I love a lot. It actually makes me use the space more, open the doors more, come out here more, and just kind of have like an indoor-outdoor feeling, which I feel like was always the intention, and now I really use it that way. Alrighty, I hope you guys like this transformation. I'm personally obsessed. Thank you to Sherwin-Williams for being such an awesome brand partner and always giving me like really fun projects that we get to do together. I love this. I love how it turned out. Oh, and I'm doing design consultations. So I've done a bunch of these the last couple weeks and it's super fun. It's $150 for an hour and we do like a Zoom conversation. You send me pictures of whatever your space is or whatever dilemma or hard time you're having and we go over it. An hour ends up being like a pretty good amount of time to talk about things. So you send me stuff, tell me kind of what your dilemma, your vision is for it, and I will go over it with you and we can literally rearrange, hang art, talk about paint colors, talk about wallpaper, talk about furniture, moving furniture from other spaces in your house, anything like that. So I've done kitchens, bedrooms, living rooms. I feel like I've done a lot already. So I've had a good time. So information for that is all below if you're interested, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.